the third leg of our AL West, your AL West parlay, not our AL West parlay. 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time, first pitch in my city, Chicago. Texas taking on the White Sox. The Rangers, 17 games over 500. Chicago, 11 games below 500 themselves. But like I mentioned with Cleveland, this is an awful division to say the least. And the White Sox, after coming back against the Rangers last night to even their series, are just 4.5 games back in the AL Central. And you back Texas, so I want to get your perspective on the call that took place at home plate when they said the Rangers backstop blocked the plate, yet I'm pretty sure the only thing he blocked the plate with was his glove and the baseball. Did you have a take on what ensued last night in the eighth?
I'm very glad I wasn't watching that game. I was watching Angels-Dodgers, thankfully. I changed it after they blew the lead, and I just was disgusted and didn't want to watch it anymore, and I'd rather watch Reed Detmers and Clayton Kershaw. But, yeah, I was able to be alerted to this god-awful call, and it was a disgusting way to lose, for sure. I think that, man, the Texas bullpen has been a complete disaster. I think there's just no way Texas is going to win the World Series, even though they look amazing. This pen is bottom, 8, and they're so bad. But, yeah, that was horrible. But this Texas pen has been a thorn in my side basically all season, and I'm disgusted with how bad they are. I'm disgusted with that call. I'm disgusted with the 35 cents of closing line value. I think I lost on that game. I got minus 130, closed minus 165.
Well, batters decided to fade your steam. You mentioned how you were getting pretty good results fading steam, like with the Astros and Mets game last night. So variance is unfortunately a thing when you bet on baseball, as you very well know. And looking at tonight's game and the rubber match, pretty much minus 110 both ways on the money line. Martin Perez taking on Michael Kopech. And the White Sox lineup, if you look at over the last 3 seasons, Chicago's ranked in the top 5 in each of those seasons when it comes to WRC plus against lefties, and Perez, a southpaw. But this year, they rank league average, not having Jose Abreu, or at least last year and the previous year's versions of Abreu. What he meant to this White Sox lineup against left-handed pitching definitely plays a role, but also Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. Robert, not really in the MVP conversation. I think he would need to definitely make some leaps and bounds before he even comes close to Shohei Ohtani. I know you texted me about Corey Seager likely, or at least having a shot to win AL MVP if there was no such thing as Shohei Ohtani, around a minus 400, minus 450 favorite to win AL MVP. But back to the White Sox, not as dominant as they've been in recent seasons against left-handed pitching. And then on the flip side, Michael Kopech, who, if you go back to over the last decade, I want to say around 10 years or so ago, when the White Sox traded Chris Sale to Boston, he was a part of the package that was sent back along with Yoan Moncada. And Kopech has shown his abilities in recent starts of dominance himself, but it's been a mixed bag of results overall this season. 3.92 ERA, 5.31 FIP. And if you go back to his last start, only one earned run allowed in 4 1/3 innings pitched against the Mariners over the weekend, but 6 walks. So command, as you and I both know, could be a problem for Kopech. So you're back in the Rangers as the final leg of the AL West parlay. Why are you back in Texas, Mel?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same deal as I was seeing with Cease yesterday, in the sense of another pitcher who, like you said, the walks have been an issue, and Texas has a pretty disciplined lineup. They don't swing outside the zone very often. I don't think I have Kopech rated as strong as his ERA, or even all that close. He has been very good lately. He was atrocious early in the season, but has cleaned it up some. But I think, honestly, the biggest thing for me here is I think I'm just higher than the market on Martin Perez. I know his results have not been very good this year, but every time I look at his peripherals, I'm not seeing much different from last year. Swinging strike rate, chase rate, these are basically identical to last year. Even with the new baseball and a harder, how much harder people are getting hit this year, he's getting hit very slightly harder, but not enough that it's setting off any red flags for me. I think he's still a pretty solid, roughly average starter, and that's right where I think Kopech probably is. So I have these pitchers rated pretty similarly, which I think is correct. And the Rangers obviously have a far superior offense, far superior defense. So I'm just not seeing how they can be even money here. Given all that, I think that that's pretty much without question that they have a way better lineup and a way better defense. So just ready for the Rangers pen to stick it in my eye again here, but I think that this is just a bad price. It's starting to come up a little bit. I'm seeing some minus 115s mostly now, but I still think that's too short. I'd bet the Rangers probably up to minus 120 maybe. I think is probably still okay. I just don't think Kopech is as good as the market, and I think Martin is just pretty decent when his numbers are not saying he is, but the peripherals are still pretty good.
And last year, he was definitely a good pitcher to back. I know you were talking about, at least yesterday, some pitchers that have, or Blackburn it was today, a pitcher that you cashed on a bunch last year. Perez, definitely a profitable pitcher to back as a dog, as Texas was not nearly as good. And Bruce Bochy coming into town certainly helped bolster and pretty much solidify this team, on top of the fact that they have one of the best offenses in all of baseball, even though Jacob deGrom is on the shelf after signing a massive contract with the Rangers this past offseason. But one thing to keep in mind for Texas, I know you have had your fair share of struggles backing this Rangers team and their bullpen especially, but you would have to think that Burke and Smith would be available. They pitched on Monday, likely getting the day off yesterday, even though it wasn't a safe situation for Texas when they blew the lead. But at least Smith, you would have to think, is available tonight for the Rangers.
Smith,
the
who
White
is
Sox.
somehow getting people out this year. I don't know how, but it's working for him.
Former Atlanta Brave relief pitcher.
I did not lose any sleep when the Braves let Will Smith go. I thought he was mediocre, and then he was very bad after they let him go. But I don't know what he's rediscovered. He looked okay to me when I watched him close out the other day.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't blow a lead tonight like the Rangers did on Tuesday night. And I want to say the first lead that you lost with Texas going back to April, before the Reds even got hot, right? I remember that was one of our first shows of the season, and the Rangers blew like a 3 or 4 run lead in the 7th or 6th. Okay. Well, hopefully Will Smith and the Rangers don't blow a 6-run lead tonight. But that'll do it for this edition of Beat the Closing Number. For Nuwwarah, you can follow him on Twitter at Nuwwarah. For myself, at Eli Hershkovich. Remember to follow the Lines on Twitter at The Lines US, and head over to the Lines Discord channel to get the rest of any of Mo's MLB bets for tonight if he adds anything in the Lines Discord channel. The link is on the top right-hand corner of the Lines homepage. Also, play.thelines.com if you want a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card in our daily and free MLB Pick'em contest. For Mo and for myself, Eli Hershkovich, thanks for watching and listening. So long, everybody.